Welcome back to the GSL Code A. We had our first Terran versus Zerg end in favor of the Zerg. We're going to have yet another one. Here's our Terran, Ryung from Axiom. He will be playing against the generic Green Wings player True.
Another Zerg versus Terran, and it basically means if Ryung loses this game, then we will only, or we might only see one Terran player advance today.
At max, we will see one.
Exactly, because if he drops now down to the losers match, we will in the losers match have a Terran versus Terran, which would automatically disqualify or like send one Terran player back to Code B. So he has to do it not only for himself, but also for the Terran race now, to keep those hopes alive of having two Terrans advance today. But True is definitely a strong opponent to face, and he has very different plans. He wants to go into the winners match to face his opponent in a Zerg versus Zerg to go up against Hydra now.
Yep. True is, well, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but a great Zerg versus Terran player. We're going into Frost here. Ryung versus True here at the GSL Code A with Counter and Bolt.
Ryung versus True.
Starting to the right side of Frost, we have to the bottom. The Terran player for Team Axiom, it is Ryung. Our second Terran player today, after we already saw Dream fall to his opponent Hydra just recently. Now to the top right, of course, the opponent for Ryung here in this first game of the best of 3 series for Jin Air Green Wings. We have True. Very good player in this matchup, someone who's currently looking at a 63% win ratio. Has taken out opponents like Yoda, Keen and Fantasy recently.
Yeah, this is true. His game against Fantasy was amazing. Just constant aggression, never switching out of his Bane lane, never even making Devastation Pit. And that's where I first used the term Peter Pan Zerg, which just really seemed to fit his playstyle because he would not. He was like so heady.
That sounds super silly.
He could have actually just switched out of it at any moment, but he did not. Still won the game.
It's basically what July Zerg did.
Yeah. He was the original.
Well, Hatch first once again here for True. And, well, not for True, he didn't play so far, but like for Zerg in general in this matchup, anything but a Hatch first would be a really, really big thing. Now we have currently Ryung starting things off with the Command Center first on the other hand.
Yeah, that's different. Not doing the Reaper build that we saw from Dream.
Yeah, for him it's a little bit annoying that he gets scouted right away. That was the perfect Overlord scout.
Do you think that Ryung is going to mech on this map? I think he will.
The thing is he can. Mech is just great. Great strategy in general on this map, and how it works is really usually what it works against mech is that you have a very mobile force as a Zerg player and you try to just run past your opponent. If that was a cross position, I would say he's probably not going to do it. With both of them starting to the right side of the map, I think it's a little bit easier to execute map. You can control the bridge to the right side, and if you do that, then it basically forces the Zerg to always approach through the middle of the map. And to really circumvent an army that is just positioned there, you have to make a huge detour. So I feel that it's absolutely valid to go mech on this map in particular right now with the positions that we have there. So I wouldn't mind to see mech. But I can also see Ryung on this map because it is still pretty big. Try to make drop play work and go into bio instead. I feel that he's gonna play mech for sure on maps like Yonsu and just smaller maps. On this, it's basically a matter of preference. I feel here he has both options, but I think that in general mech is better against Zerg these days, especially after the last bit of mind changes.
Okay. I think so too. I basically think that bio is a dying style in this matchup, and it will still be used every now and then. But it's going to be the feeling that people had for mech a year ago when someone meched against Zerg of like, wow, that's unusual, he's going to do that, that's kind of strange and different. Is going to be reversed, and people will be, surprised when somebody goes back to bio every now and then because it's a surprising style that catches Zergs off guard because they're not practicing against it so much.
I don't know. I feel like the bigger the map is, the better bio is in general. Just because you can make good drop play work if you have that But it depends. It's very, very map dependent, in my opinion. I feel on a map like Floss, you can go for both. Altazim, for example, I would rather
Altazim is just like can't mech clear, basically, almost.
Oh, we've seen a lot of mech, actually, against Zerg, but I just feel like on a map like that, Bio is going to be the stronger choice. So that's why I said, like, it's very map dependent on what you have. By the way, the reaction of True, just to come back on what's happening in the game, was to immediately drop a third base when he realized that there is a command center first of his opponent. So he really wanted to have that third base as fast as possible because he realized, yes, I can get away with that, with what my opponent is doing here. And Ryung is currently adding the second gas, or already added it, and is going into Banshees.
Yep, he's going to go Banshees here. He's got his Hellions coming out as well, so the hatchery is already up, it's already ready. And at these positions, it's going to be really hard for him to actually do damage at the third with Hellions and Banshees. It's really going to be about doing damage in between the bases and killing queens at the natural. And if he can get into the main base somehow, that would be awesome. I just don't see it happening.
The problem is, does he know that there's an Overlord to the top right of his natural? Because if he does, he will definitely try to fly somewhere else with the Banshee at first and trying to go past that Overlord. And
he knows now.
Okay, now he knows the Overlord goes in for poke. That's good for him, because if he can hide that Banshee a little bit, that would be great. And, well, the two Marines are already trying to take that down, but the Overlord is going to see. There's the Starport, he's going to see the... Oh, is he going to see the add-on? Yes, he will.
Yep.
Saw the add-on here, sees also that there is another command center, so very good scouting here for True.
Also sees Stim, so that means he doesn't have to worry about mech or bio, unless Ryung had cancelled it, which would have been a crazy move.
Sacrifices 2 Overlords, and that's, of course... It's cost him quite some minerals, that's 200, and the additional lava. But at the same time, he knows now, Spore Crawlers, that's what I need.
Yeah. Hellion's going across the map, and he's bioing it up. He's going all the way with it. We'll see how much damage this gets done. I don't think a whole lot. There are 22 Zerlings on the way to deal with the Hellions, and just position-wise, especially with the scout on the Banshee, I think True's going to have a great time against this. We'll see, though.
He has a good creep spell that gives him a warning system. The active creep tumor gets taken out, a bit annoying for him, but now on creep, those lings are super strong, and you can really see how anxious Ryung is to not really cross over on the creep, because he knows that the lings will have an easy time surrounding his Hellions, and once you lose the Hellions, you lose the map presence there. But the opening for True is definitely a great one at this point. It's very difficult for Ryung to do any damage to the Zerg player and to put pressure on. And here come those lings, putting the Hellions in a very bad spot. Nice positioning with the Hellions in the end, having a very good angle here to take down as many Zerglings as they can, but in the end, the Hellions all die, and then takes away from the map presence that Ryung has.
Yep, this is terrible. Now these two Banshees, 6 queens? Don't think so.
He got the best trade with the Hellions that he could get after the Zerglings were running in, but that's of course not what he wants to trade for. He wants to get out of there. He didn't want to fight this, but he realized that he couldn't run away, and then just decided to go into that point where he could at least kill as many lings as possible. But in general, not a really good spot for Ryung to be in. He is losing quite a lot of... He's just losing the initiative in the game.
He can't pressure anymore with those. He can't stop the creep, but he can use it with his Banshees for that until the layer's done, I guess, for a little bit longer, but
he's losing map control.
He's going to be able to clear up Overlords for his drops later. That's handy. Oh, well, maybe not this one. This one's not spotting a drop, but it's still actually, you know, providing supply, and he does save it with a transfuse. Pretty nicely done. The whole right side of the map is cleared up, though, for drop play when the medevacs come out, and they are started right now. Third base is also dropped, a pretty good spot for him, because on this map, the third base is a little bit far away from the Zerg, a lot harder to pressure, especially by a Mutalisk. The
thing is that right now, the Banshees didn't pay off either. So it's not only the Hellions dying, but it's this Banshee tech that didn't do anything for him. He couldn't put pressure on, he couldn't force a cancel anywhere, he didn't kill any queens, he wasn't even able to kill any creep tumors with them. So they didn't really work for him. And now the Mutalisks come into the game, and we'll have an easy time with the Banshees if Ryung still tries to utilize them. It depends a lot on how much True is now committing to the Mutalisks, because you can do a lot with those. I'm not quite sure how many missile turrets he's going to build here, but even with that third base down at the bottom, he can always just try to pressure there while he's just expanding again, and he already gets a fourth base. True is just in an amazing position right now, and for Ryung with the first two medevacs, it's now the main job to somehow force the Zerg player back a little bit, get those scans off, take down the creep tumors, and he gets an Overlord for free here as well, which is always nice.
Gets an Overlord, getting a lot of tumors here. This scan actually covers quite a few of them. Could actually go for it again. The Mutalisks aren't ready. This wall is not quite set up yet, but it's enough to push True back. He's a little bit apprehensive about going in there. 2-2 upgrades started around the time that +1 Carapace has started for True. His +1 attack at least is a little bit further away. This Banshee will spot these Lings and also could have tried to do a little bit of damage there, but I mean, all things considered, Ryung's not in a bad spot. He gets a third base up. He's got 2-2 very, very fast, and he's up 20 supply, and his worker supply is actually even higher than True's, so his economy is through the roof right now.
Yeah, he has a really good saturation on those bases, and he has a good income. It's just like he has no pressure points against the Zerg. And I feel that True, with the fourth base that he has, once he saturates and takes this gas, he can also start with an infestation pit and go into tier 3. I would be very surprised if he really sticks it out without any attack into Hive. That would surprise me quite a bit, given that we have such a big map and such a good economy situation for him right now.
Ryung's army is so solid though still, and he's keeping on the pressure via ground. He's killing these tumors, and he's just going to continue to push his way through. He has so many Marines back here, and if he can trade against these Bandas before they have speed, that would be awesome for him. I don't think he will be able to. I don't think True's going to go for it, but actually he does as I say that, and that's a huge waste for him. Look at the supplies.
It's surprising a little bit that we have so little army supply for True here in this game right now. He has so many harvesters, and the situation that he has should be decent. I mean, we don't have a PC to really double check how many drones he has per base, but he should have a really nice income so that he can get that army into the game. And something here is just lacking for him. Ryung seems to have the much better macro back at home, and is now starting to pressure forward.
Yep, he's going through. Part of it is he's just making pure Marine only. There's not a single Marauder in this force, and that's a little bit easier for him to build up. And it just gives him this really strong army, but it's also very fragile. Ryung's army is basically itself together a glass cannon. You cannot lose any pieces of it.
Yeah, but it's 40 supply up, and I'm wondering where exactly is True's resources going. It's not like he's ahead in tech in general. He's actually behind. He's far behind in upgrades. The 2-2 is about to hit for Ryung, and there's not really a gas or just resource-heavy composition for True on the map right now, so that supply deficit is really just because Ryung is macroing it better. There's a fourth base, but that's about it.
Well, Ryung has this crazy army out here that has 2-2 now. He has +1 for his Medivacs armor, and he has +1 for his Widowmine's armor as well. That was not the best engagement, but his splits here are starting to get pretty good. He's got to pull that Medivac back. The Widowmine shots are decent. Now he just has to fight against the Mutas. And Calder, I think that Ryung is possibly going to even start to do damage at this fourth base.
Ryung might take that out. He's at 104 army supply against 73, and the Zerg is really struggling to get units into the game.
13 Marines at a time being produced for Ryung. He's doing a parade push.
Don't forget about the 2-2.
Yeah, 2-2, and he's on top of the ramp here. Starts 3-3 as we're talking here. And this time he's going to get pushed back, though.
Yeah, for how long, though? As long as there are Banelings, he can really make... Oh, well, those Medivacs just simply ran away. They didn't care about the Marines at all. They could have easily picked them up and moved
And he stopped rallying too, so he didn't have any reinforcements to work with. This drop, low in hit points, but still high in damage. Mutalisk get picked off here, and here come the next wave. He's got a fourth commander he can start to work with soon, and 3-3 on the way. As we mentioned before, drones going down here. Ryung can maybe even get the spawning pool here. I don't think he should... Well, where are the Mutas?
What is True doing? Like, he didn't even... He's going to lose the spawning pool here, and he does not start +2/+2. He's gonna get crushed once 3-3 is done, if not before that. Like,
well,
he's
he doesn't have any gas
against
now.
2-2. But still, he doesn't have. He has to get that.
Yeah.
If you fall behind with 1-1 against 3-3 upgrades, you might as well type out right away.
Base is dead over here. Holding out the base where the mining is.
Like, I feel we missed something in this game. I feel there must have been a drop somewhere taking down 20 harvesters.
I really feel it's just the style that Ryung chose. He just goes pure Marine, and that builds your supply up really fast, and even those numbers can be misleading. It just depends on how much you do with the Marines.
Yeah, Zerglings also don't cost too much, and you had nothing for True. A 40 supply army advantage? I don't know, like, it feels a little bit weird, because at the beginning Ryung lost his Hellions, and he didn't do a lot of damage. True really got a lot of creep spread out that he wanted. He had a really nice position there. A fast saturation at the third. I'm a little bit surprised. I mean, I thought that True had a better spot than he did right now. Not that he was like massively ahead over Ryung. He had really nice control at those Hellions, but I thought that he would at least be able to withstand the pressure a little bit better than that.
He's still hanging in there. Missing the 2-2 upgrades now is no longer really an excuse. He definitely had enough resource to do it. He's pushed back the pressure for now, and he needs to get them. There's no reason not to anymore. He needs to save the gas and do it. Forces 2 cancels here, but there are Widow Mines, so we could actually draw the Mutas into them. The Overseer eats 1, eats 2. That means no more detection. But still, the Marines have to continue to stim. Viking here trying to zone out the Mutas. A lot of damage done here by True with this group of Mutas, but will he get trapped in here? That's the question. That's a really scary place to be.
Well, the thing is, once that he has to move out, the 3-3 is going to be completed, and then Ryung is just going to go in for the kill. Now 2-2 is started. 3-3 is about to be done, and he's just started.
He's killing these units up here because he knows the mutas are away. Really smartly done. We'll pick up and run away now. Only one Marine dies. 3-3, like you said, lining up with this push. He's going to go out and he's going to swing the axe, man.
He's gonna, if he's gonna finish the game here. I do not. If he moves in right now and has decent splits, like not even the best split, but if he splits against the Banelings here, I do not see it too early. Not with 3-3 against the 1-1.
37 Banelings versus 90 Marines.
Crazy advantage that he has.
I don't know what happened to 7 of those Marines. I guess they were in the medevac over there. But this game may end, like you said, just with this push. 83 Marines. And they're all 3-3. 5 Marauders even in the mix as well. Gonna add some extra DPS. And this is the beginning of the end, depending on the splits. The split's pretty good so far. He just has so much Marine power here. Splitting again.
There we go. There's are the splits against those Banelings. There's a lot of Banelings, but those are 3-3 Marines. How many Marines actually survive? 22 against 16 Mutilers. Needs to get that production up again.
This is, I want to rephrase what I called this army. I call this army a glass cannon. I want to call it the plastic army because it's basically the most cost-efficient army you can make. It's the cheapest army for its like power. It's like a cheap solution. It's got a made in China sticker on the back of it. You can see how much power there is in that 3-3 army, but if you don't split well, and the Zerg army is clearly more expensive. Even though Zerg army is down 30 army supply before the fight starts, it's still a more expensive army and it's a better army. And Ryung didn't have enough Marauders, his splitting was bad, and not enough Widow Mines really either. Like, he just basically fought pure Marine against Baneling, and you do that in the unit test map. If you're totally prepared to do the perfect splits, you can win it, but...
Thing is, there's not a lot of gas for True. True has to make every Baneling count now.
He really does. He only has 15 left. Ryung's trying to trap these Mutas again, but they're outmaneuvering him, and they're actually camping his production, which is pretty annoying for him.
I'm very surprised that Ryung did not build more missile turrets.
Yeah, he definitely could have. He's always a little bit late on that. We saw it at Natural. He had to rebuild those multiple times. Nice dodge on those Widow Mines. Gonna have to fight his way out here with the Mutas, and I don't think they're getting away this time. Well, barely gets around here, and there's no more Marines down here at the third base. A few turrets, though, he's gonna have to fly around.
Yeah, he's not engaging that line. There are 3 missile turrets, and that's a little bit too much for him to handle. But the Zerg player is expanding again, and he is still alive there. So, kudos. But here comes push number 2. And this time we have him...
Not as many Banelings this time.
Not as many Banelings because he's lacking the gas. That's his big problem, really, the gas income. If you use this many Banelings in the Mutilus, you have huge expenses in gas. But the 2-2 is now done. Ryung doesn't have that much of a massive advantage anymore.
17 Widow Mines with this army, though. 17. See how much you can get with that. That was a pretty good shot there. Those Marines tanked the Baneling shot. 83 Marines left still. And this run by over here, there's no units in this bunker. He's actually sending them over now. Kind of funny to watch that.
It looks a little bit ridiculous when you have a bunker without units.
Oh, bad rally. That might cost him the game. That's way too many Banelings to lose.
Yeah, those
He's got 15 Banelings left against 81 Marines with 3-3. I don't think so. This base over here will be defended for the time being, but Ryung has this next wave of units he can send in now that the Banelings are gone. There's 6 Banelings on the map. This hatch is gone.
You know what we have there? He has 41 Overlords. I just saw that. That explains where all those minerals went. And he just lost a few. He just lost a few as well, right? Like, that kind of explains where all of his resources went earlier.
41 Overlords. Wow.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot too much.
Yeah, do you think he accidentally queued those up instead of Mutas or Zerglings at some point?
I don't know what he did, but that's definitely a lot more than he wants to. I was wondering where all these resources went. Like, he never really had that army supply earlier, but he has 41 Overlords right now. And he just lost a bunch of them. He probably had like 50.
Yeah. That's really weird.
So
he's got no money for that, and he's got no minerals now.
Yeah, and that was happened earlier. That's why I think that was one of the reasons why Ryung suddenly had such a massive lead in overall supply.
Would explain it. Definitely could be one reason why. Well, Ryung's still ahead in this game massively now, and he's killed this base to the top left. He still doesn't build a different composition. He just sticks with pure Marine with always 2 Marauders. I don't know where those 2 Marauders are. They're still with the army somehow. I don't know how those always survive.
So scary. 5 bases for the Terran player. Whoa.
And the bases for the Zerg are mined out. Main base mined out. Natural mined out. 3rd base and 4th base still going strong for Ryung. And these Widow Mines have actually cost a lot of money to True. This mine might as well. I've just shot. I don't know what he got because we didn't get it verified. Looks like he got... No, not that one. This one. 5 more kills. 5 drone kills additionally on that shot. These minefields are starting to become a big problem. This, without banelings, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's just... I mean, earlier the baneling connects were really good. He had so many banelings that the upgrade advantage was kind of negated, but we still are fighting 3-3 with 2-2 and the Medivac support, and that is absolutely horrible as a Zerg player. That's why you usually try to go into the infestation pit a little bit faster these days, because you want to go into 3-3 yourself. But if you fight with such an upgrade disadvantage and the Medivac support for the Marines, it's super, super bad. The only reason why he survived earlier, when he was even 2 upgrades behind, was this massive amount of banelings that we had for True. But the problem that he had after that was that he was lacking the gas to build that. Now he has the gas back again, but now he's lacking the minerals. And he's really trying to get the banelings back into the picture, because he realizes if I take out the Marines, I can actually...
Well, if I take out the Marines, there's nothing left, because he's only making Marines.
Yeah, I mean, 292 Marines died in this game. That's how Marine-heavy Ryung played this.
Yeah. It's the plastic army. It's the plastic soldiers, man. It's like those plastic soldiers you used to play with as a kid. The army men. I guess that's what we call them in English.
Those weren't scary. We had those too, but they were not scary. These Marines are scary.
These Marines are like those army men come to life. That would be scary.
Wasn't that Tin Man as well? Maybe we had like tin soldiers.
Yeah, you know, I never had tin soldiers, but I heard about that. I had a nutcracker once.
Yeah, we had nutcrackers too.
I never used it to crack nuts, though.
Well, 5 bases for the Terran player. Zerg trying to establish himself another one. We have only 47 harvesters for True. Same for Ryung, but Ryung has the extra mules that he can always use here. Therefore, also the better income whenever he chooses to drop additional mules into the game. Banelings are still everywhere. The dropships, on the other hand, doing a nice job. In the middle of the map, Ryung's army is still moving. He still has that huge advantage in upgrades. It's all about the connects with the banelings here. 34, that's what he has. 71 Marines. And 10, well, now 9 Medivacs to support that army and make up for the stims. But with a nice spread at the Widow Mines.
Oh, these banelings are wasting on the Marauders. I think Ryung could almost 1A his way to victory at this point. 27 banelings left, though. He just has to make sure he splits one more time. The Zerg player is now no longer out of gas, but out of minerals. And he wishes he could turn about, I guess, 18 of those Overlords back to minerals. A
3-3 upgrade Terran Bio army is just super efficient if you have the Medivac support, and he had that for a long, long time. And he just... in order to make that work as a Zerg, you need to have the much better economy, and that's something that True doesn't really have. He has 63 army supply now. The one thing that he really needs is absolute gigantic baneling connects against the Bioforce here, and that's something that he will not get.
Well, he's already losing half of his banelings here.
Yeah.
Ryung just chases with 2 Marauders. He's going to send the rest of his army across the map because 2 Marauders will kill all those banelings. Could burrow all these Widow Mines right now.
True is holding on longer than I thought, though. I really thought when Ryung was moving out with a 3-3 versus 1-1 upgrades, Ryung would be able to end the game right away. There were too many banelings, and Ryung split. Didn't really make up for the huge amount of banelings that we had there. So True was holding on a lot longer, but the lack of a hive tech, the lack of 3-3 and a transition is really starting to cost him the game here.
This is the end of this hatchery again. All the drones died too, every last one of them. And he's going to lose these lings. He can just lift up now and go and harass the other base that's not mining. I mean, look at True's mining is bound to basically 0. He's got like 2 patches of minerals left. Muta's coming in here to fight. All Ryung has to do is split against the banelings one more time. One final engagement here. Nice. Widow Mine's hitting everything he wants, and that is game 53 supply left for True. And Ryung will take game 1. GG.
GG and game. So well played here by Ryung.
Not the cleanest victory, but just outplaying his opponent, and I want to know about those Overlords too. Like,
those were about 50 Overlords that he had there, and he must really have either pressed the wrong hotkey at some point, or he completely underestimated his own Overlord count and didn't realize. I think he probably just really queued up the wrong hotkey, and that kind of cost him between 500 and 1,000 minerals.
Yeah. A ton. Like, ouch. We'll see how this plays out. He looks a little bit stressed.
I was wondering the entire time after the Hellions were dead how Ryung was managing to have such a massive army size over his opponent after in the start he really struggled. It was of course also because Ryung has really good macro, no doubt about that. But with the opening that True had, he should have had a much bigger army. And he was really struggling when Ryung moved out for the first time. So with all those extra resources, I think that True would have been an easier time against his opponent. But him staying on lair this long is also definitely a problem. Ryung was getting his upgrades really, really fast, and Drew just started his 2 upgrades as Ryung was nearly completed with 3-3.
Daedalus Point is the map choice, as expected. The thing about Zerg is that their core units are melee, and against a melee unit you want a wall. It's harder to make a wall. It's a good map for the Zerg. Ryung is going to have to play it here. You know, as a Terran though, it's not too bad. It's annoying to play on this map, but it's not like you can't expand without it in the early game.
I
definitely hold with just bunkers. I think so too. Let's find out what he wants to do. Can Ryung take the 2-0 and go to the winner's match? First Terran to do so today, or is he going to tie up with his opponent True from Jenner Green Wings? This is the GSL Code with Powder and Wolf.